Ladies and gentlemen, Susan Markam.
Thank you so much. I can assure you I will not ask you for money today, but I'll add you to my Rolodex for in the future. So I'm here to talk about the work that USAID has done with adolescent girls, and specifically with regard to education and gender-based violence. USAID was born out of a spirit of progress, innovation, and a fundamental belief in doing the right thing. Whether it's helping a country recover from disaster, like we're doing in Nepal right now, or a community building a pathway out of poverty, we are committed to empowering individuals and families across the globe to live in dignity and hope. While USAID remains a force for peace, progress, and security, the global landscape has changed dramatically over the 50 years of our existence. We've seen the rapid growth of Wi-Fi penetration, but alongside it, the growth of cyber terrorism. Innovations in agriculture, alongside an ever-growing population that must be fed. And more girls going to school than ever before, but alongside it, rising gender-based violence. A report released by the United Nations Human Rights Council in February noted that attacks on schools occurred in at least 70 countries between 2009 and 2014, and that approximately 3,600 attacks against schools, teachers, and students were recorded in 2012 alone. And those are the numbers that we know. The truth is that gender-based violence in schools is happening in every country in the world right now. Worldwide, 246 million young boys and girls experience violence at or on their way to school every year, and 1 in 3 women will experience gender-based violence in her lifetime. It is a global phenomenon preventing children, especially girls, from exercising their right to a safe, inclusive, and quality education. From kidnappings to shootings, from acid attacks to poisoning, and from discrimination to intimidation, girls around the world are being threatened, harassed, attacked, and killed while trying to get an education. So how do we address it? We know it's not enough to build schools and equip classrooms. Girls in developing countries face complex and often dangerous barriers while trying to go to school. We have to approach it holistically. We have to address the whole girl. That's why I'm excited to talk about Let Girls Learn today, a US government initiative to ensure adolescent girls get the education they deserve. Working in proud partnership with the White House, Peace Corps, PEPFAR, and the Department of State, the Let Girls Learn initiative will build on USAID's initial funding to elevate existing programs, including in areas of conflict and crisis. It will leverage public-private partnerships and challenge organizations and governments to commit resources to lift up adolescent girls worldwide. USAID's Let Girls Learn approach will focus on 3 main pillars. First, we will work to increase access to quality education. Second, we will reduce barriers to the success of education. And third, we will empower adolescent girls. Each pillar is critical to ensuring that girls succeed, but it's the second pillar that I want to highlight today. It focuses on a wide range of vulnerabilities for adolescent girls, including early pregnancy, preventing and responding to HIV, enrollment fees, and the cost of supplies. This pillar also targets security and the threat of violence and programs to prevent gender-based violence. It was referenced earlier today, but in the Democratic Republic of Congo, USAID's Empowering Adolescent Girls to Lead Through Education program, or EAGLE, is empowering over 1,600 adolescent girls to play an active role within their schools, families, and communities. The program has improved school completion and led to better knowledge of adolescent reproductive health, gender-based violence, prevention, and gender equality. In northern Uganda, the GREAT Project works to promote positive gender attitudes, working with boys and girls to reduce gender-based violence and improve reproductive health for over 51,000 girls in post-conflict communities. In Pakistan, we're working to ensure children affected by humanitarian crises have access to a quality education by making schools safe from all forms of disasters, natural or man-made. Nearly 5,000 girls have already been enrolled in temporary learning centers and established host communities, and approximately 100 teachers have been trained in psychosocial support, health promotion, and teaching in challenging environments. And then there's USAID's Safe School Flagship Program, which is referenced in the article that was published in the booklet today. It was designed and implemented to address the root causes of school-related gender-based violence. At the center of it was the Doorways training program to sensitize teachers to recognize, prevent, and respond to gender-based violence and help develop students' understanding of their rights and responsibilities both in school and on their way to school. In Ghana, prior to the Safe Schools program, roughly 30% of teachers agreed that sexual harassment of girls occurred in schools. After the program, that number increased to 80%. Prior to the program, 26% of teachers believed that boys could experience sexual harassment. Afterwards, that number grew to 64%. And prior to the program, 45% of teachers knew how to report gender-based violence, and afterwards, over 75% understood how to report it. The program later expanded from Malawi and Ghana to 4 additional countries and was adapted to other education programs and adopted by Peace Corps volunteers. Together, we have made so much progress. In Afghanistan today, 3 million girls are enrolled in school, while a decade ago, there were almost none. We have supported these gains by building more than 560 schools and several teacher training centers throughout the country, producing and distributing textbooks to schools nationwide, and developing a university teaching degree program. In Uganda, the School Health and Reading Program is improving literacy skills for over 1 million children, including 300,000 adolescent girls, to increase their knowledge about HIV/AIDS and gender-based violence. In Guatemala, the Lifelong Learning Project aims to improve access to quality education for 10,000 adolescent girls through teacher training, improving classroom learning environments, and engaging parents, communities, and stakeholders to support students. Yet with all this progress, there are often unintended consequences. As traditional gender roles shift and long-held power structures collapse, the result is sometimes increased violence against women and girls. It's why socializing our efforts is as important as the efforts themselves sometimes. Last year, I was fortunate enough to be in Afghanistan for the launch of the Promote program, the largest women's empowerment program in USAID's history. And during that time, President Ashraf Ghani spoke eloquently on national television about advancing opportunities for Afghan women. He pointed out that this type of program was not new for his country, and he aligned its goals with the teachings of the Quran. In his speech, he made not only the Afghan argument and how they have a long history of strong women, but the religious one. It was a powerful lesson that how we articulate gender equality is as important as how we integrate it. And I know that this is exhausting and difficult work. Changing mindsets, fighting stigma, dealing with those norms that we were talking about, and speaking up for those who have been silenced can sometimes feel futile. Sometimes I am just exhausted and complain that I have horrible job security. But when I feel dispirited, I think of some of the women I met at the Ponzi Hospital in the DRC last year. They were survivors of sexual violence with stories so horrific, you can't even repeat them. How could they not just curl up in a ball and give up because I was feeling overwhelmed? But what they wanted to communicate to me is that they wanted to recreate the fabric of their society. In a country considered morally bankrupt, where the lines between good and evil have been crossed too many times to count, these women were talking to me about village savings programs, reintegrating survivors into their everyday lives, and educating girls in their communities. These women were not just surviving, they were leading the fight to heal themselves and their communities. So the time is now. The shooting of Malala Yousafzai and the kidnapping of close to 300 Nigerian girls has focused the world's attention on this global imperative. The White House has taken a step forward, introducing and launching the Let Girls Learn initiative. So together, as we go into the post-2015 commitments and beyond, we need to build on this momentum until we ensure that schools everywhere are safe so children anywhere can reach their potential. Thank you.